Your retirement account is on pace to fall short by 6 figures, and it has nothing to do with which stocks you picked. It comes down to a decision so small that most people never notice they're making it. A rule used by the world's largest pension systems that almost no individual investor actually follows. In 2004, two economists ran an experiment inside a mid-sized manufacturing company. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what they found, and exactly what it's worth in your own paycheck. Here's the rule. Every time your income goes up, increase your savings rate by 1 percentage point. Not your savings amount, your savings rate. 1% tied to the next raise, on autopilot, forever. That's the entire rule. What makes it powerful isn't the math, it's the psychology. Consider Derek. Derek makes $70,000 a year and saves 6% of it into his 401k. That's $4,200 a year. Ask Derek if he could save 7% instead, and he'll tell you no. Money's tight, he's not wrong. Right now, moving from 6 to 7% means $700 less in his pocket this year, and nobody volunteers for that. Here's what the two economists, Richard Thaler and Shlomi Benartzi, understood that everyone else missed. They didn't ask Derek to cut his current paycheck. They asked him to commit in advance to giving up part of a raise he hadn't received yet. Derek gets a 3% raise. Under the 1% rule, 1 point of that raise goes straight into his 401k before it ever touches his checking account. His take-home pay still goes up. It just goes up by 2% instead of 3%. He never sees the money he's giving up because he never had it in his hand to begin with. That one detail is the whole mechanism. Losing something you already have feels like a cut. Not gaining something you never held feels like nothing at all. The rule doesn't ask for willpower, it routes around the need for it. Here's what that looks like in dollars. Derek starts at 6%, saving $4,200 a year on a $70,000 salary that grows 3% annually. He never touches his savings rate again. By retirement, 30 years out, assuming a 7% average return, his account holds roughly $530,000. Now run the 1% rule. Same Derek, same raises, same market. Every raise, 1 point of it goes to savings, capped at 15%. He barely notices. His take-home pay still rises every single year. But his savings rate climbs from 6% to 15% over 9 years and stays there. At retirement, that account holds approximately $1,020,000. Same person, same income, same market, same risk. The only variable that changed was whether 1 percentage point of each raise got redirected before Derek could get used to spending it. That single habit is worth roughly $490,000 over a career, close to double the outcome, for a decision Derek makes exactly 0 times a year, because he made it once and it runs on its own. For decades, financial advice treated saving more like a diet. Try harder, have more discipline, cut the lattes. That advice fails for the same reason diets fail. It asks people to feel a loss today in exchange for a benefit decades away, and the brain is bad at making that trade honestly, over and over forever. The 1% rule was never sold as a discipline fix. It was designed as a discipline bypass. When Thaler and Benartzi rolled the program out to employees who'd previously refused to increase their contributions, average savings rates rose from 3.5% to 13.6% in less than 4 years. Employees who joined the program stayed in it at a 78% rate. Nobody had to fight themselves. The default did the fighting. This is also why the rule sits inside nearly every major pension system on Earth and almost no individual brokerage account. Automatic escalation is standard in employer 401k plans today, quietly built into plan design by law under the Pension Protection Act of 2006. If you have a 401k, there is a real chance the box to turn this on already exists in your account settings, unchecked, waiting. For an individual saver with an IRA or a taxable brokerage account, nobody flips that switch for you. You have to set the annual increase yourself, and almost nobody does. Not because the math is unclear, but because remembering to do something painful once a year, every year, forever is exactly the kind of task humans are worst at. Here's the takeaway. Open whatever account holds your retirement savings. If automatic escalation exists as a setting, turn it on today and set the cap high enough that it actually matters, 15% at minimum. If it doesn't exist, calendar one 5-minute task for the week after every raise. Increase your contribution by 1 point before the money hits your checking account. You are not being asked to save more than you can afford. You are being asked to keep less of a raise you haven't received yet. Derek never felt richer or poorer doing this. He just ended up with twice the money. The people who retire comfortably aren't the ones with more willpower than you. They just stopped asking their willpower to do a job a system could do automatically. If this connected some dots for you, that's the whole point. Subscribe if you want the next rule broken down the same way, and I'll see you in the next video.